Lastly, Acts chapter 6 verse 4, which is the name of the school, Acts6v4.school. There were a lot of distractions at the time when Peter said those words. There were a lot of distractions. We say, but we will devote ourselves to prayer and to the ministry of the word. So we're going to pray to devote ourselves to prayer. We're leaning in on those words. We're making these words our home. We want to prioritize prayer. We want to prioritize the word, but here we're asking God to enable us to devote ourselves to prayer. Jesus Christ asked Peter and others who were sleeping. He said, "Can't you wash with me for 1 hour? Can't you?" He was there. He was praying. He was in agonizing prayer. The reality at that time was that Jesus Christ said, "This is the hour and power of darkness." So this was somebody who was fully cognizant of what was happening beyond what is seen. At this time, what was seen, they just had a full meal in the upper room, and Jesus Christ was going to the Garden of Gethsemane. I mean, they saw the trees. It was the same color. They saw the stone. They sat down and started sleeping. But Jesus Christ was dancing to a different beat. He recognized something that was not visible to the ordinary eyes. And that is what it will take to be able to devote, for us to be able to devote ourselves to prayer. And to take that God enabling us to dance to another kind of beat. To recognize our utter dependence on God. To recognize that we are involved in a wrestling with principalities and powers. And I'm going to read Ephesians chapter 6 here from verse 10. Finally, be strengthened in the Lord and the strength of his power. Clothe yourselves with the full armor of God, so that you will be able to stand firm. You'll be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. So the devil has his schemes, and you're not supposed to be trapped by his schemes, but we've been trapped by his schemes. But we're not supposed to say we should be able to stand against the schemes of the devil, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world rulers of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavens. So in a way, Jesus Christ was fully cognizant of what was happening in the heavens, and you could see him is just different. While others were tired and wanted to sleep, he was doing something else. He was doing something different. So Paul is trying to peel the veil here to help us. He said, for this reason, take up the full armor of God, so that you may be able to stand your ground on the evil day. Remember, this is a day of evil. In another place, Paul will write that redeeming the time, for the days are evil. So this is the evil day. So it's not some future time. You stand your ground on the evil day. Stand firm, therefore, by fastening the belt of truth around your waist. So, by putting on the breastplate of righteousness, by fitting your feet with the preparation that comes from the gospel, from the good news of peace. And in all this, by taking up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. With every prayer and petition, pray. With every prayer and petition, pray at all times in the Spirit. And to this end, be alert. So, if there was something you could say about Peter, James, and John in the Garden of Gethsemane, they were not alert. You should be alert with all perseverance and petitions for all the things. So, look at this list here. Full armor of God, stand your ground, belt plate, breastplate, preparation of the goodness of peace. One thing I notice in all this is that what is obvious here that you can't confuse is the need to pray as a way to stand your ground, as a way to not fall into the schemes of the devil, as a way to stand against the wiles of the evil one. Something that's clear here is to pray, and they say pray at all times. Sounds similar to pray, devoting yourself to prayer that Peter said in Acts 6:4. Pray at all times in the Spirit. Ephesians 6:18. Pray at all times in the Spirit, and to this end be alert. Pray at all times in the Spirit. That means your praying is helped by the Spirit. You're praying in the Spirit. You're not praying just in your own strength, in your own reasoning, but you are not praying isolation from the Spirit. You're praying in the Spirit, and the only kind of people that can do this kind of prayers are believers who have the Spirit of believers, because they have the Spirit of God. Pray in the Spirit. So it's the urgency here is to pray at all times in the Spirit. And that is part of our alertness. And thank you for listening. Welcome once again.